Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce. Special orders won't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way. Have it your way. Have it your way. Have it your way at Burger King. Yeah. Yes, and for those of you that watch my channel all the time, you know I have sung that song for you before during my Matt Mangels McCartney series. Yes, as you know, my Matt Mangels McCartney series, and if you haven't checked it out yet, please go check it out. I kind of interweave Paul McCartney's album releases with my personal life and my memories and some stories about what I think about each of his releases and what was happening in my life at the time. It's a fun little series, and I hope you'll check it out. Well, as part of that series, when I have talked about working at Burger King during that period from 1977 till 1979, when I turned 16, got my license, last couple of years of high school before I signed up for the United States Air Force, I worked at Burger King for almost 2 years, folks. Yes, I did. And I have some goodies to show you along with some Beatles memories. So we're going to look at some Beatles releases that I remember from my Burger King days. I'm going to show you some memorabilia that I happen to have, and hopefully you'll enjoy this. Now, I got the idea to do this video from Allan C Records, who got the idea to do his video from watching my Matt Mangels McCartney series when I talked about working at Burger King. Does that all make sense? Well, evidently, Allan heard that I had met my wife, the future Mrs. Street, at Burger King way back in the day, and that I had worked there, and he wrote to me a note saying, "Hey, I worked at Burger Chef. Do you ever hear of them?" And I said, "Hear of them? Of course." Both of my brothers worked at Burger Chef at one point. I never did. I was at Burger King when I was 16, 17, 18, but my two younger brothers worked at Burger Chef, so I knew all about Burger Chef, the Mariner, the Super Chef, the Top Chef, the Big Chef, whatever you call them over there, that great place. And I do miss Burger Chef. It was a great restaurant. I kind of consider the big three of the fast food kings back then to be Burger King, Burger Chef, and McDonald's. They were like the big three back in those days in my area anyway. Now it's changed so much and Burger Chef is no longer with us. But anyway, here's a couple little cheesy plastic puppets from Burger King. I think this was the first King logo going way back into the mid-70s, and then the later 70s coming into the 80s, it was this guy right here. All right, so I have a couple of two plastic puppets to show you. Yes, and I worked at Burger King from 1977 till 1979. Here's a little rummy Burger King card set you could get, mini size. All right, little cards in there. A little Burger King sticker, kind of like a kaleidoscope sticker of the Burger King. Thought you'd enjoy that. A little Burger King flip disc, kind of like a mini Frisbee with a flipper on the back where you could wing it. And I'm not sure, will you be able to see the Burger King on there? See him? He's embossed on there. See him? All right, there's a couple of Burger King things. A Burger King kazoo, mini kazoo with the king on there. See him? All right. And around that time, 1977, when I first started working at Burger King, relating this to the Beatles and Burger King, I was listening to these two albums all the time. Yes, I was. These were my two go-to Beatle albums. Around that time, I was getting hired for Burger King in 77. This is what I was listening to. I know, I was listening to a ton of other stuff too, folks, and older great Beatle records and other stuff, but I'm just trying to relate it to recent releases when I worked at Burger King. So I was listening to these two guys. And yeah, working at Burger King was a lot of fun. You got little things like the piccolo, get it? Pickle on your burger, piccolo, little piccolo. And you can't see it, but the Burger King logo is embossed on this piccolo. Still works, piccolo. A mini Burger King Frisbee. There's the king. See him? There he is. Embossed on there. How about a little foam Burger King glider? You pop out the wings, you pop out the body, slide the wings through, and wow, goes like 2 feet. King glider. This is all stuff that came in there. I don't know what they called their meal. I remember Allan mentioned what Burger Chef called theirs a fun meal or something. McDonald's, I think, called theirs a happy meal. I'm not sure what Burger King called theirs. I can't remember. Was it a fun meal also or a kid's meal? I don't remember. But this is kind of like stuff you would get in there. Little Burger King ruler, 7-inch Burger King ruler. These are kind of neat. Burger King pencil eraser tops. I have 2 colors. Look at that. Okay. Burger King magnet. Put on your fridge, the Burger King. And I have one of the Wizard of Fries. Burger King, and I'm going to show you more of their characters. They tried to do a character thing like McDonald's did. You know, McDonald's had Mayor McCheese and the Hamburglar, and who else did they have? Grimace and some other characters besides Ronald. Burger King tried to follow that pattern back in the mid to late 70s, coming into the 80s, with not as much success as McDonald's did. But they tried it. And one of the characters was the Wizard of Fries. Who remembers him? Like a little robot. So I have that magnet. And let's get back to some Beatles. And also around that time, working at Burger King. And I got to say, for the Burger King years, a lot of good kids I met there. Obviously, I met Mrs. Street there. I'm married to her all these 40 plus years later. A lot of good kids, and they were very diverse. They came from many different communities and areas around that particular Burger King. We were one of the only Burger Kings in that area. So you had kids from the local Catholic high school, kids from the local public high school, kids just across the state line in a couple of high schools in Rhode Island. I lived in Massachusetts. Other kids from other high schools just outside that immediate area where we were. So it was a lot of different kids from a lot of different schools, and we all gelled together very well, folks. We got along well. We did a lot of fun things together. We would have baseball games, or softball games, I should say, against other Burger Kings. So it would be Burger King versus another Burger King nearby that were part of the franchise. The company owned like numerous ones in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and we played games together and have get-togethers. A lot of fun. I made a lot of good friends there, and just like Allan said, good kids, hard-working kids back in those days. Kids really cared about their job and what they were doing, and they busted their butt, worked hard to earn that $2 and something an hour, whatever it was. You know, they worked their tails off. They didn't get much for it, but they had pride, and they had, they felt good about their work and doing a good job. I can't say that young people today have that same work ethic. I'm sure some do, but I don't see it. I go into a lot of these places similar now, and I don't see that same determination, pride, and work ethic like we had back in those days in the 70s working at Burger King. I just don't see it. But the good kids, made some good friends there, and had a lot of good times. And I was also around that time working at Burger King, and like I said, 77 to 79, I was listening to the Ruddles a lot. Yeah, I remember when I got this album, I'm working at Burger King listening to the Ruddles, and it was a great old time. Trying to, relate both together, folks. Little Burger King, little Beatles, get them back and forth. This was kind of neat. The Fun Riddler. You pull a little card here, or you spin a little dial that's in here. You pull the card up, and you could do different riddles with the Burger King, with the Fun Riddler. I mean, when you really think about it, a little kind of cheesy, cheap little toys. Toys certainly got better in kids' meals and Happy Meals over the years, haven't they? You get some of them now. You get Hot Wheel cars and Transformers and other little cool things. But back in our day, they were pretty cheesy. You got a Burger King little notepad you could get if you want to write some notes. All right. And if you had Valentine's Day coming, you could get the Burger King Valentine's Day set. Little cards you could give to your significant other. And, maybe I should have given some of these to Mrs. Street back then, huh? I didn't have to, though. She's my wife, so I didn't have to give her Burger King Valentine. Okay, back to the Beatles. Well, this was certainly a big one back during my Burger King days. London Town. I was listening to this one all the time. And oh yeah, who can forget the television special in this album? Oh yeah, when I was at Burger King, this was one of my go-tos. I was listening to Bad Boy by Ringo. I loved his TV special. I thought this was a great album. Loved the songs on it. It's fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And here's some of the characters of Burger King. They had the Duke of Doubt. I don't know what he was doubting, but he was like the bad guy. This is an ion-on transfer, so it's going to be backwards, but these are ion-on transfers, so they're not going to come through good, I don't believe. All right, that's one. I have three, or four I have. I have the Burger Thing. Again, these are backwards, but they were ion-on transfers. You could put on a t-shirt. Sir Shake-a-Lot. Any of you remember any of these characters? If you do, you're old, like me. And the Burger King. I had a little stuffed, like doll of this right here, of the Burger King. It was about 12 inches tall. It was like a little stuffed pillow that was given out at one point if you bought so many Whoppers or something, or you paid $1 or something, you got a little stuffed Burger King, but I couldn't seem to find him. I thought I still had him around somewhere. And of course, we were listening to this when I was working at Burger King. Oh yeah, late 78 going into 79. This was the all. This was everything from Paul right here. Now this is cool. I got a couple of cool things to show you. Is the character cups. Yes, these are actual character cups. You could get your shake or your soda in here. You got the Duke of Doubt. I'm the Duke of Doubt, and doubting's what I do. It doesn't matter what it is, I doubt it through and through. Why, Duke? What was your purpose for Burger King? What were you doubting? Okay, Sir Shake-a-Lot cup. Burger King logo. Let's see what he's all about. I'm Sir Shake-a-Lot. I love a great shake. It's a little bit faded. Whenever I drink one, I shiver and quake. Okay. And we have the Burger Thing right here, Burger Thing. The logo, kind of a green theme to his cup. I'm the funniest burger on the Burger Thing. I hang around and joke and sing. As you can see, folks, these characters did not do so well. They faded really fast. And here is the Wizard of Fries cup. Who's he now? I do what you say. I'm the Wizard of Fries. When I multi-fry, you'll get a surprise. Big deal. And last but not least, the Burger King. Burger King cup. I'm the marvelous magical Burger King. I can do most anything. I love magic and food that's fun. I've got fun, fun, fun for everyone. All right. And another album I was really into right before I left Burger King. This came out March of 79, and I stayed at Burger King until June of 79 because I went in the Air Force in July. So it was late June I left there, and early July I was off to adulthood. Anyway, this was a big one, folks. Wow. You know, those last 6 months or so I worked at Burger King, this was the album right here. I really love this album. March of 79. And we got to give John Lennon a little love. And John didn't release anything during the period I worked at Burger King from 77 to 79. But in reverence to John, I will say that I was listening to Shaved Fish right through when it came out in 75, right through the end of the 70s till I went in the Air Force. I couldn't take my albums with me. But I must tell you, this was on my regular rotation right up through 79. So I will give John a nod with Shaved Fish. Came out in 75, but from 77 to 79, when I was here, so was John. I was listening. And last but not least, folks, I'm going to show you a very cool set of cups that we got at Burger King back in the day. I have a set of 4 special cups. You could get a special Fonzie from Happy Days edition in 1977. So this is just when I first started. There's the Burger King logo. 1977 on it, and as you turn it around, there's the Fonzie. Arnold's, Jefferson High School, Fonzie, 1977 Paramount Pictures Corporation. So they must have had a little deal with Paramount Happy Days to do a Fonzie series of cups. That's number 1. Number 2, again, same logo on the back side. As you turn around, it says, "Hey." Number 3, logo on the back. As you turn around, "Sit on it." Remember that? "Sit on it, Malf. Sit on it, Potsy. Sit on it, Richie." I don't think anyone told the Fonz to sit on it, did they? And the last one, which I think is a pretty cool one, it just says the Fonz. And a picture of Henry Winkler as the Fonz right there. So there you go, folks. That was a pretty cool set. And again, these cups are like a hard plastic, not the waxy ones that Allan showed you from Burger Chef. They're more of a hard plastic, but they're pretty cool. And I know for a fact there were other series of glasses that came out while I was working at Burger King, and thereafter in the early 80s, they did a lot of glasses sets, which many of them don't survive. They were very thinly, not the hardest glass in the world. I know there was a couple of Star Wars sets that came out back then in the late 70s, and I don't have any of those to show you. But anyway, that's it, folks. It was a great little place to work. A lot of Beatles, a lot of music being played. Met a lot of nice people. Met Mrs. Street. And I hope you really enjoyed this. And I will be back again soon. Bless you all. And thanks again. Thanks again to Allan for the inspiration. We kind of inspired each other to get this going. So there you go, folks. There's my first job, Burger King. Take care. Bye-bye.